This is the new Skoda Kodiaq, the brand's flagship SUV, which has made a comeback in India now in its second generation. It gets a new exterior design and all-new interior and continues to be powered by a 2-liter turbo petrol engine. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Visually, this is clearly an evolution of the previous Kodiaq's design, and in typical Skoda fashion, it's understated and yet very classy. Up front, you get this familiar split headlamp setup as before, but the LED DRL signature is new, and this butterfly grille has also grown larger. What's really cool are these segmented illuminated bits within the grille that sort of appear as an extension of the DRLs itself. Down below, you have a very neat look for the bumper with functional air vents on either side. And up here, the bonnet I really like, which has this sort of a depression in the center, which creates this power bulges at either edges. Looks very muscular. Over to the side, it has a very clean and tidy design and appears more rounded than the first gen Kodiaq, which had a sharp character line running down its length. The wheelbase has remained unchanged at 2791 mm, but the overall length is up by about 60 mm. This is the Laurin&Klement trim of the Kodiaq. There's also a Sportline trim, which I'll come to in a bit. But here in this spec, you get these 18-inch alloy wheels with an aero-optimized design like in an EV. And what I also really like is this contrasting finish for the D-pillar that creates a wraparound effect for the glasshouse. Now here at the back, you have a stepped design for the tailgate, and the tail lamps are connected via this light band here. There's also a spoiler which has quite a deep recess, your Skoda lettering here, and a silver garnish on the bumper below. Now while we are here, let me give you a look at the boot. You get a powered function for the tailgate, and even with the 3 rows up, you have 281 liters of storage, which should be good enough for a couple of medium-sized suitcases. But you can obviously fold the 3rd row down, and that opens up a massive 786 liters of boot space. Stepping inside the new Kodiaq, the door shuts with a lovely thud, and then you're greeted with this all-new dashboard that has sort of a winged design to it. I really like some of the materials and textures in use here. There's a wooden trim here, leather with cross-stitching on the dashboard and door pads, and soft touch materials up here. It all looks and feels really premium and upmarket. But the real highlight is this 13-inch freestanding touchscreen infotainment system, which is very smooth and intuitive to use. It's quite slick, and there are a few hard-coded buttons here for functions like your TPMS, 360-degree camera and park assist. What I also really like about the interior of the new Kodiaq are these 3 physical dials for the air conditioning system. These 2 outer dials, they control the temperature and seat ventilation functions for the passenger and the driver. And this center dial is actually a multifunctional dial. So once you press on it, you can toggle between functions like fan speed, your volume, or even drive modes. And the display also changes correspondingly, so you know which mode you are in. Now here on the center console, there are multiple cup holders and 2 wireless charging pads, and a very nifty feature is this microfiber-like cloth with which you can use to wipe your touchscreen of fingerprint marks and all. Quite clever, I think. And when not in use, you can simply cover this lid so it all appears neat and tidy. Now ahead of me, I have a new 2-spoke steering wheel with the Skoda lettering. You don't get the Skoda logo anymore. And there are also these lovely knurled dials with which you can navigate through the instrument cluster. Speaking of which, this is a 10-inch unit and the graphics are really crisp and clear, and you also get your navigation feed there, which is pretty handy. I must also say that the front seats themselves are very comfortable and accommodating, and apart from seat ventilation and heating function, they even get a massage function. Now this is the second row of the new Kodiaq, and I'm 5'8" tall. As you can see, I have good enough knee room, lots of headroom, and I can also move the seats forward or backward to open up more space at the rear. The seats also adjust for recline, which is pretty nice. And in terms of amenities, I have a fold-out armrest here. There's a manual sunshade, and I can also adjust the temperature individually here. This car gets 3-zone climate control. And when you do not have a 3rd passenger, there's this removable tray here, which can be pretty handy. You also get a massive panoramic sunroof that extends quite far behind, but this roof liner is pretty thin, so on peak summer days, this will allow quite some heat into the cabin. Now getting into the 3rd row of the new Kodiaq isn't the most convenient thing. The seat doesn't tumble down, it only extends up till here, and then you got to climb yourself in. Once you're seated here, as you can see, there really isn't much space. You're seated in a quite knees-up position, and the backrest angle is also quite upright, and there are no third-row AC vents either. So this place is only best for children for short rides. Now, this is the Sportline trim of the new Kodiaq, and as you can see, it gets a blacked out treatment for the grille, but it misses out on that illumination feature I showed you earlier. It also has a slightly more sportier design for the alloy wheels, and on the inside, you get an all-black theme with slightly different trim pieces for the dashboard, and you also get sports seats, but you miss out on the ventilation and massage function for the front seats. Now, under the hood, the Kodiaq continues to be powered by a 2-liter turbo petrol engine that produces 204 horsepower and 320 Nm of torque. The torque figure has remained unchanged, but power figure is up by 14 HP from before. The engine comes mated to a 7-speed DCT gearbox, and all-wheel drive is standard on the Kodiaq. Now, Skoda hasn't announced prices yet, but like before, the new Kodiaq is going to be locally assembled in India, and that should mean prices should be competitive. We expect it to be around Rs 45 lakhs ex-showroom. But what do you think about the new Kodiaq? Do you like its design? Do you like the interiors? And what do you think the pricing should be? Let us know in the comments, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the Autocar India channel. Thank you for watching.